Broadcasting for Craft Computing. It says we're broadcasting. It says we're broadcasting. It says we're live. Just thinking about it. Still thinking about it. Hey, that's looking promising.
It's a beautiful logo.
It's looking promising. That's thinking about it. Hold on. Now we're stuttering.
Says live.
Are we live? Yeah. Just thinking about it. Still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Smoothing out. Maybe.
About a minute delay.
Gosh. Definitely delayed.
Yeah.
Noisy.
Yeah, it said high CPU utilization. Let me drop my stream a little bit. All right. Hopefully we are live. Hopefully you can see us. Welcome to a very special episode of Talking Heads, number 64, live in Las Vegas, if you hadn't guessed. So we've been here since Sunday morning checking out things, so hopefully you've been watching the couple of videos that we already posted. We're going to go over pretty much what we see as the biggest stories that have come out of CES so far. But you know how we have to start every show.
I do. And it's both a blessing and sometimes a curse. In Vegas, it's almost a curse, really.
So I'm going to start with the Lagunitas Torpedo.
Well, I guess I have to as well.
Extra dry IPA.
I don't know why. All right. No, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I like Sierra Nevada.
It says audio popping. Yeah, I was a little worried about the audio. We'll see if that works. It's kind of a haphazard setup. We had a couple of false starts, a couple of issues getting everything going. I wanted to go live about 30 minutes ago, but had some issues with first with my capture card didn't want to work.
Yeah, we're going punk rock today.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
If you don't like it, there will be an episode next week.
And by the way, if you are one of my Patreon backers, one of the 75 who signed up to get a keychain, they should have started arriving. In fact, I heard from a couple people who got them. So if you got a keychain, let me know down in chat, because I'm really excited to see how you like them.
You're welcome.
Anyway, Sierra Nevada Extra Dry Torpedo IPA.
Have you had the extra?
I have actually not had this one, so dude, bravo. Anyway, we are actually in the iBuyPower booth here in the 46th floor of the Palazzo. So big shout out to iBuyPower for letting us crash their booth for the next hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's give this thing a go.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers to you all.
Cheers to you all.
Cheers to our friends in the iBuyPower booth.
Mm-hmm.
That's dry.
Crisp.
That's extra dry.
Well, it's on the label, dude.
Oh, we're not just reading the label back to them?
We're not just reading the label back to them.
Sierra Nevada. Pure. I think this has the purest ingredients, and honestly, I'm sensing the finest quality.
It's got a little bit of an oily finish to it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Malbeth, woo, audio's in sync. Dude, don't curse me like that.
Yeah, you guys know better.
Don't,
Keep it to yourself.
Don't you do that. Gosh. Anyway, as always, let me know what you guys are drinking down in chat. Even though I'm in Vegas doesn't mean I don't want to hear what you're drinking. So.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thanks,
it
Sierra
is good.
Nevada.
And thank you, iBuyPower, for running and grabbing us a couple 6-packs of beer.
They seriously,
Last minute.
legitimately did that right before we went live. So
we
can't
had,
thank them enough.
Exactly. So yeah, we had some problems getting our video card going, or our capture card going. And it's like, oh crap, we don't have any beer yet. Here's 50. Literally go grab us some beer. So
Cool.
Anyway, we actually have a little bit of beer news to get to.
Believe it or not.
Unexpectedly.
It's fresh off the presses.
Now, unfortunately, again, I was having problems with the capture card, so we're not going to show anything on camera.
Look, we're going to do a mixed reality stream today, so you can
Right.
use your own keyboard, and you can hop onto that old Google machine. You type in LG Home Brew, and you're going to know exactly what we're talking about.
That's right. So, very unexpectedly out of CES, we have a major consumer electronics player getting into the homebrew game. LG has created the homebrew.
Yeah. And there's already a couple, like the Pico we were talking about. What was the other one? There's another-
Hopsy.
Hopsy, yeah.
Yeah.
LG is kind of following in their footsteps, and they themselves are making a homebrew machine. This one sort of functions. I don't know how the other ones function, but this one, they literally, their marketing gimmick seems to be comparing it to the Keurig over and over and over. Yet, a Keurig the size of a full espresso machine.
Right.
So take that with a grain of salt. But literally, from everything they've been telling us, It works just like a Keurig in the sense that you put a capsule in. And I was trying to find some pictures to get the real sense of scale for this thing. Like, is it a capsule or is it a capsule, a space capsule that crashes into the... like, size matters, obviously, but...
There's K-cups that are capsule size. I've also seen capsules that are, two quarts of fluid that go into things.
Yeah. But anyway, apparently you plug this capsule in, you press a button, and just like a Keurig, you're going to get your goods, except rather than getting a cup of cold beer 5 minutes later, you're going to get 5 gallons, I think 5 gallons, of beer 2 weeks later. So, takes quite a while, but obviously you're brewing beer.
Fermentation takes a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really cool about this, they've developed an app. I couldn't find a name for the app, so everybody's just been calling it the Companion Homebrew app.
Yeah.
And with that app, you're able to check on what's going on inside of your brewery. The weird thing is that it says specifically, you can buy capsules to brew 5 styles of beer, including IPAs, stouts, and Pilsner.
Yeah, American IPA, American Pale, which one has a little bit more hops.
Did you actually find a list of 5?
English Stout, Belgian-style white beer, and Czech Pilsner.
Oh. See, I was laughing because they were like, you can brew 5 beers, and here's 3 of them.
Yeah,
like,
here's 3 of... It's like, just list them all. Come on.
Yeah, for real.
And sorry, I have to laugh, but we have 2 people diving under lights here because apparently we sold ourselves as very professional in this show. We are going to... We've already spent a day on the show floor. Today and Thursday, we're going to be bouncing back and forth between a lot of the hotels, checking out a lot of the things. If you guys find something that you would like us to check out on Friday, we are going to be back on the show floor on Friday. Literally hit me up down in the comments. I'm going to read those, and I'm going to try to hit those booths.
Yeah.
So if you see something crazy that you think I might like to cover, let me know.
And we're going to try and go and check out this LG homebrew thing just because a lot of the press releases that are out there right now don't have that much information, such as price. We have no price information.
No price information, but there's no one giving this a lot of coverage because it's just kind of like a little side announcement, but it's something I'm genuinely curious about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go check this thing out. So that's going to be hopefully on Friday.
Cool. Cue montage to Friday morning. Da, 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 they're the best friends ever going to CES Vegas.
If I don't move much, the stutter is almost bearable. Are we stuttering? I know we might be. I know we're pushing my little laptop about as hard as it can go.
Yeah, I was surprised that you went for like full HD stream here.
Oh, I'm trying. I was trying for 60 FPS, and even on the recording, that was dying pretty quickly. So now I'm streaming on my my Ryzen 5 2500U. So I do have technically a Vega 11 in here, but it is or Vega 8, but it is certainly not a powerhouse when it comes to streamability. And for some reason, the Vega 8 isn't counting as a encoding GPU, so I'm having to do this all in software.
Yeah, I am getting a little bit of stutter here.
Okay.
But it's... I don't know.
Is the audio good? Let me know if the audio is good. That's really all I care about.
That's what these are for.
That's right. All right. Before we get to the big news...
Yeah.
Because we all know the 2 or 3 big news stories out of Camp AMD and Camp NVIDIA. Rhett, what's the favorite thing that you've seen here so far?
I don't know. Honestly, we've had a lot of really great meetings. And yesterday we spent all day walking the showroom floor, and just the sheer scope of different things that you see is so fun. Things that aren't practical in the slightest, but things that you're only going to see at CES. One thing that stuck out to me, and I don't know why I never brought this up when other people are asking me, but that freaking drone, hover bike thing. Remember?
Oh yeah, the
thing we couldn't get a good footage of.
That's been around for a couple of years. It was in the B-roll of the video I posted yesterday, the day 1 video. The Dubai police apparently have these hover bikes.
Yeah.
That are self-contained quadcopters that are like motorcycles with 4 rotors on them.
Yeah.
Who knows if they actually work or fly? The only footage I've ever seen of them are CGI. I don't know if they're actually real.
And they're not even moving on the showroom floor. They're literally just parked there, and one of them looks like a really bad toy on a children's playground in a seedy town.
It really does. And they don't let you get within 10 feet of them. The ropes are set up so you can see them from a distance, and I feel it's like... sometimes when you come to these shows, you'll see like a really rough prototype, and they'll hold it up on the stage, and they go, "That's all the pictures we have time," and they don't let you see it up close. It's because it's just a mocked-up prototype.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like.
So that was one thing, and then just oh my god, and then I forgot all about it too. Somebody this morning, somebody asked me, and I was like, I don't know, I guess this thing gave some crappy answer, but the ping pong playing robot
That was cool.
was amazing. They had a freaking robot that comes down and straddles. If you guys haven't seen our day one video, go check it out after the stream and look at it. It's somewhere in there. Can't remember where, sorry. But they have this robot that mounts, or it straddles a ping pong table, and you play ping pong with it.
Yeah.
And it kind of like warms up a little bit. Like the first couple volleys, I was like, okay, did they literally just put a piece of like lawn art over this table to trick everyone that it's a ping pong playing robot? But
No.
after it got going, I got on camera, go check it out, a really good back and forth volley. And this guy was trying to keep up with this robot. He ended up winning, but
Yeah, he won that match. He lost quite a few matches, though.
yeah, it was pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah. My favorite thing, just from the outlandishness of it, was probably the shark drone. Mm-hmm. So there was an underwater drone that was shaped like a shark,
Yeah.
that actually moved like a shark through the water. And they had a number of different sizes of these drone fish that
They're
they
like-
could remotely control. Just from the absurdity of looking at it, I had quite a few different takes with the camera asking where the freaking lasers were.
Yeah.
None of them made the cut, but that's all I could picture. Was I just need like 4 more of these and some lasers, and I'm like a super villain waiting to build my volcano.
I want to know what purpose that drone serves. They're like, we're going to embed it with the shark clan so we can learn their ways. It's like, you're not fooling any sharks.
Day
I mean,
37. They still haven't figured out I'm not a shark.
Yeah, you're not even fooling us, for God's sake. So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we also saw some other cool stuff. Really, really sensitive, cool track pads. We saw some 3D printers that were really cool. Bendable, foldable screens have been all the rage at this CES.
Yeah.
LG announced a foldable table you can roll up like a mouse pad or something. We saw the tablets that you could roll up.
Yep. Who was the company, Royale or something like that had the giant booth in the middle of the
Oh,
the
yeah.
floor?
And we walked through it, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that's just like those other tablets. And then we were walking around. I was like those ones. And Jeff's like, we're in the same booth still.
No, they rented out like a 300 by 300 foot booth in the middle of the showroom floor.
Yeah, I thought we were well done with that place.
Yeah, so showing all the different versions of their bendable screens. They're very cool. I still don't understand the point of why I would need one, but I do understand the point of why you would want to develop the tech and then sell your tech to help finance the development of it.
Yeah.
As far as like a foldable tablet, I still don't just understand it.
I mean, like we've all seen that episode of Star Trek where Captain Picard's love interest is encouraging him to pursue his flute playing, and they go into the Jeffries tubes, and she rolls out her piano. Like, yeah, we kind of have that technology, but imagine that she's like, here's my iPad, and she just like rolls it out, and it's going to be Star Trek. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yep. We can't devolve this early.
Sorry.
Yeah. We did see a pretty freaking sweet Borg Cube PC mod. It was a water-cooled system designed inside of a Borg Cube.
Yeah.
And I know it's been done before, but there was a company that actually did the epoxy resin mold of that case and built that. I forget what company that was at, but it was a chair company who also just brought out officially licensed Star Trek gaming chairs.
Yeah.
And we didn't get any B-roll that actually made the cut for the video.
They're
but
just gaming chairs.
they're just gaming chairs, but they had the Star Trek logo on the back of it. And I wish
think
they were.
what you meant is that they have the Starfleet logo on the back of it.
Yeah.
You fool. You fool.
Yep. So, yeah, those were pretty cool. VR is kind of everywhere this year.
Yeah, that's
on the showroom
aside
floor.
from like the flexible screens. I think that VR is kind of like the predominant theme of CES, and how many companies have their own headsets, have their own peripherals out now, standalone sets, anything like this. I mean, there had to have been more than 50 booths that we walked past without, even I don't know what I'm saying, but
Without giving a second look.
right, yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Shielded HDMI cables and
Yes.
various connectors and
Yes.
bits and bobs and things like that. And yes, Corey, we did stop by the InWin booth, and in fact, we gave them a full visit and
Oh yeah,
featured 4 or 5 of their different products, I think.
dude, I've been seeing one of my favorite things about CES is how many unique case mods we've been seeing.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's one epic case right behind us from iBuyPower. One of a kind case on a spinning platform.
Yeah.
Did I move far enough?
Yep. So that case is 4-sided.
Wait a minute, it's not even spinning right now.
It's not spinning right now.
That's a bummer.
Why isn't the case spinning?
We tried.
He's got us. Hold on.
Oh, thanks, bro.
It'll start spinning. There we go. Now it's spinning. So, like iBuyPower's their Snowcase series, this one has the 4 LCD panels on the side of it that are completely translucent. This is a 100% one-off case. Now, on top of the 4 LCD panels being in there, it is a full running liquid-cooled system that actually has the output that goes through the spinning pedestal. So what they have is
Yes.
all of their outputs, so their HDMI, their power, and everything else is being fed through kind of like a brush wire system that you
Yeah.
would use for trams and buses and things like that. They're actually transmitting data and USB and power over those same leads
Yeah, and
to
I have it
enable
on.
it to spin.
I have it on good authority that. Well, there's only one of a kind, and I've already inquired about buying it. And they said it would be more than $10,000.
Yeah.
So maybe not this go round. I'm hoping that if you guys start putting in some super comments,
go.
that maybe before we're done, I can walk out of here with that. But no pressure, guys. No
Yep,
pressure.
yep.
Also, though, tying back to InWin, the Z Tower, the
Oh,
Z
God, the Z Tower.
Tower.
Z Tower.
That thing was cool, and I'm glad that he just came up right up front and said, he's like, no, this is just art.
Yeah.
This is not form. This is not it is form. This is not function. This is not anything. It's just art.
It's just form.
Yeah.
And InWin does this back and forth, and I love when they do this, is they will come out with some technological marvel. Last year it was the AI orb
Right.
that would follow you around, that had a full computer inside of it. And there was really no point to it other than, well, that's just freaking cool. This year it's a sand-casted aluminum spiral tower that weighs 130 pounds
Yeah.
that happens to have ATX mounts inside of it.
Yeah.
And he said they will only ever make 60 of those because the sand casting that they use can only the casts themselves can only be used to make 10 individual panels.
Right. And that's just sand casting in general. Like once you go X amount of times, you've ruined your mold.
Yeah.
So you gotta recreate a mold, repack that sand, and it takes time and it's a lot of labor. And he's making these big, huge panels.
Yeah.
And what was really fun about it, of course, the outside is buffed, nice and shiny, mirror sheen on that thing. But on the inside and some other parts that aren't necessarily, I guess, the face of the case, you can still see where the sand molding was. They didn't buff it out.
That they were left raw.
Yeah, and it just adds such a cool aesthetic. And it's really cool to just see a case that is almost the opposite of what CES is about.
Right. Yeah, it was all art, no function or at all. It was all form, all just because we can.
Yeah. And I want to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's weird because I'm very familiar with case modding and all this sort of stuff and building unique cases, but I've never seen so many unique ones at once. So obviously this is my first EOS, everybody knows that, but
Yep.
yeah.
All right, let's get into news topic number 1. I guess we'll start with Sunday. We'll start with NVIDIA.
Yeah, what a bummer. Oh, sorry. Should I not have said that? Are they sponsoring this video?
They're not sponsoring. I love how we have the RTX banner behind us, though.
Whatever. Yeah, I guess they are sponsoring
Yeah.
this.
So NVIDIA held their press conference
Late at night.
late at night, and in our day 0 video, I did give them a little bit of ribbing because the first hour of that press conference was literally word for word the same press conference that they gave at Gamescom,
Yeah.
reintroducing ray tracing and going through the history of rasterization and CUDA and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and why it matters, and the RTX 2060 is real, and he could have just as easily held up a 2080 Ti and it would have been the exact same press conference.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
So-
and if you hadn't been following the narrative, sure, it's a good refresher. It's a good way to bring you up to speed with the rest of the information you had to give. But
But 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same down to a T. They played the same demos and everything. And, you're at CES to do new stuff. So the people that are here, they've already seen what you're doing.
Yeah.
The people that are at that press conference, it's not like they were like, who's NVIDIA and what's RTX?
Right. This is not the market to replay a press conference like that. Especially if you watched AMD's press conference today, where NVIDIA's press conference was literally 4 software updates, including async technology, so you can now use FreeSync through an NVIDIA card, although approved versus unapproved and official versus unofficial is still a very big sticking point. They also announced 2 or 3 other software features and then 1 graphics card, and that was a 1 hour and 50-minute press conference, I believe.
Was it 1 hour and 50 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh
it was
God.
an hour and 50 minutes. We fell asleep during the press conference.
I wasn't sure if we were
Honest.
going to admit that or not,
Yeah.
but we literally... And my only...
We streamed it from the hotel room because
Yeah.
I didn't want to fight traffic because we're staying on the opposite end of the strip.
Yeah.
But yeah, we fell asleep at random times during the press conference.
Yeah, I fell asleep first, and then I woke up and I looked over and Jeff was snoring, and then I was like, huh. I fell asleep with my hand in a bag of Takis, so that's Las Vegas for you. But see, and here's the thing, in their defense, I guess, it was our day 0, and we're tired falling asleep. It was their day 0, and they were tired and doing whatever they do. I mean, maybe they rented out the theater, and the theater was like, you have to do 2 hours. And they were like, shit, what are we going to do?
No, but you contrast what NVIDIA did versus what AMD did with their press conference, where it was 90 minutes in and out. They announced a new graphics card. They gave teasers of the Zen 2 3000 series. What else did they introduce? That they went over their mobile processing.
Oh,
line.
yeah.
They talked about a number of different technologies. As far as they had Microsoft on the stage saying how they worked with them with the Xbox One. And they also announced that Google recently went with AMD graphics cards for their cloud streaming services for GameStream. So they packed all of that into 90 minutes, and every single bit of it was riveting. It was good to watch. It was good information.
Yeah.
Some people still complaining about stuttering. I am lowering my bit rate slightly. I'm trying to. There's a balancing act with my computer because I'm trying to encode software Ep.064 on a quad-core mobile chip. So I know it's stuttering. I hope the audio is good, though.
Yeah. And honestly, we came here fully expecting that the stream was going to be a little touch and go.
Yep.
So bear with us. It's only episode 64. We'll make sure everything is good to go for episode 69 at least.
I don't even know if we'll have it going by then. Maybe by 100 we'll have this thing down pat.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Anyway, so the RTX 2060 is official, as Ken so eloquently put it. It is official, it is real, and it is coming January 15th, which I'm so glad that all the reviewers have so much time to get valid reviews in and fully vet this thing after they get back from CES.
I mean, January 15th is Monday, though, right? No. Yeah. 12th, 13th, 14th. Okay. Yeah.
So we leave
All
CES
right.
on the 12th. I've got to sleep for 4 days before I film another video.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah. So it releases. Got it.
It releases Tuesday.
Math.
Yeah.
Math.
Yep.
It doesn't exist in Vegas.
Yep. They talked about Epic as well.
They did, yeah.
And went back with Threadripper as well to set up why Zen 2 is going to be such a big deal and why going to 7 nanometer is going to be such a big deal. Is because AMD is bringing competition to the market. But we're not talking about AMD right now. We're talking about the RTX 2060. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Whoa. Pump your horn.
Yeah.
Your horns?
Pump your
horns. Pump them.
So, the RTX 2060, 1920 CUDA cores, 349, which is actually lower than I anticipated. I thought 399.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that was the one thing that everybody can agree on from the press conference is that nobody was that the price came in below projections.
Yes. This is the first card that is going to come in under the retail price of the card it's replacing and still be faster.
Really?
And
that's kind of interesting when you look at it
And
like
that's shocking
that.
for NVIDIA's full lineup.
Yeah.
Because all of their RTX cards performed equal with the card that was one step below them, and they cost either the same or more. Mm-hmm. This one undercut the 1070 Ti, and it's technically faster. So, How much faster? I don't know. How good is RTX on it? I don't know. They claim it can do 60 FPS. They claim it can do RTX at that rate. They claim it can do 1080p at 60 with RTX enabled and DLSS up to 1440 and hold that 60. Wait for reviews is all I'm going to say, because the history with RTX over the last 4 months has been
tenuous.
Tenuous. That's a much better word than I was going to use.
Yeah, I wonder what happens when the Bitcoin miners figure out what RTX can do for their Bitcoin mining. They like stumble onto some like weird tech. They're like, RTX makes it better.
Quite honestly, with the tensor cores, there's a...
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was kind of half joking, but I guess there is a real possibility. Mm-hmm. So get ready to have that screwed up by people you hate.
That's right.
Sorry, do we not all hate Bitcoin miners?
Most of them.
50% of them are all watching right now.
That's right.
They're like, get off of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm real popular with the Bitcoin miners. So
anyway.
So yeah, RTX 2060. I'm not sure what to think about this.
I mean, at the price point.
At the price point, it makes sense. Yeah. I still don't think that card makes sense with RTX cores.
True.
And now they released exactly what I thought they would. They announced the card. They announced it $50 less than I thought it would be. They announced exactly when I thought it would launch, which is with not enough time for reviewers to review it. So they're going to try to get it out there and say, we have a new mainstream 1440p killer art with ray tracing.
See, isn't that's the weird thing to me, is everything just seems so like hand wavy and like, look over here.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. I'm going to call them out. Now, by the way, I respect NVIDIA's products. I respect Intel's products wholeheartedly. I love the work that they do, and I love that they're trying to innovate and bring new things to the table. But both of them in their press conferences, it's a lot of, look over here, here's what you're going to get. Like I said, AMD's press conference was amazing because it was 90 minutes jam-packed of information that I actually want to know.
Oh, yeah.
With not a lot of BS.
And it was gripping. It was just so good. Well, It was so well performed. So well pressed.
Yeah.
So well... Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, it was a really good press conference. I mean, we were in the car and it was like, yo, Rhett, get this up right now.
We were in the car, so I was listening to it. Rhett was watching it on my cell phone, so we can get all the information in for you guys today. And I said, can you already tell how much more prepared AMD is for this press conference and how tight things are?
And that's the thing. Like, just look at AMD's market price, the way that it's grown. And if you're somebody, just average Joe consumer, and you're like, I want to get into computers, where do I start? I want to build my own. You're going to look at these things. And if you picked which company that you were going to buy their products just based off their press conferences, it would be super obvious what your choice would be.
Which company has it all together and which one is just kind of, and right now you can see it in Intel's press conferences too. I mean, with the whole Computex debacle, with nothing new for CES, with no... Yeah. And we know they're struggling in manufacturing. We know that. But they're not bringing anything new to the table, and their press conferences very, very much show that.
Have they just been like kicking their feet because they've dumped everything and getting that 10 nanometer and
yeah,
they're just
that's pretty much what it is.
It just seems like it just lots of badly placed bets.
Sorry, Raycoin.
Raycoin?
Raycoin.
Raycoin. Well, here's to Raycoin. I hope it helps.
I hope it works out for you. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. It has been a long week. Now, I had ambitions of getting a video out on Sunday. Sunday didn't happen, and Sunday's vlog kind of rolled into Monday because I met up with Brian from Tech Yes City, and that boy knows how to drink.
Oh, everybody we've met up with knows how to drink. It's
yes.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Not that I don't know how to drink, but
yeah.
When you meet up with a bunch of other people who also know how to drink. In fact, a few of them have actually gone professional with it.
That's a really impolite thing to say, Jeff.
I didn't say any names.
Back where I come from, that's a bad thing to say.
I just said Brian knows how to drink. And I think he would agree with me.
No, but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've been getting about 4 hours of sleep a night trying to keep up video content. We do not have a new video coming out today because we're streaming, but there will be new videos on Thursday and Friday, as well as another video likely on Sunday. for our final of the trip. So.
Absolutely. And we'll try to get you guys some video from our honeymoon jacuzzi, because just kidding, that's not a real thing, but
Well, it almost was. We got to the hotel and they said, we literally have you on our honeymoon suite. And I said, excuse me? They said, yeah, there's literally like a heart-shaped bed and a jacuzzi in the middle of it.
not in the middle of the bed,
Yeah,
in the middle
of the
room.
room. And I said, no, 2 queens will be fine. And Rhett goes, no, let me hear about the jacuzzi stuff.
Yeah.
And she goes, would you like to check it out? And I said, no, 2 queens will be fine.
What a buzzkill, this one.
Separate bedrooms, if you will.
It's almost like he thinks he's the boss.
Well, kinda.
We could have had a jacuzzi, Jeff.
Could have had a jacuzzi.
Some boss you are.
Yeah. I'm actually regretting that decision now.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, but it's like, if we really, really, really wanted to, we could run a hot bath.
Yeah.
Which is almost
I'm
worse.
6'5". I don't fit in any bathtub known to man. That's my biggest problem.
Make a really good video.
Yeah.
You just suds that bad boy up.
We actually, I actually regretted the decision afterwards because I went, that would have been a great B-roll take.
Yeah.
Just literally us just sitting in like a jacuzzi with a whiskey.
Well, and part of me was hoping that they had a jacuzzi in their pool area, but they don't. It looks like
Yeah.
they filled it in.
Yeah.
Which made me wonder what happened to that jacuzzi.
Right. Something bad happened in that swimming pool.
They're just like, bury it, make sure nobody can tell it was here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's move on. So AMD this morning had probably what we hope to be one of the biggest announcements for graphics card competition in quite some time. Unfortunately, they're still not competing with the 2080 Ti, although the rumor mill that I'm hearing is wait.
Yeah.
The Radeon 7 that they're putting out right now is what they're putting out right now. Apparently, with 7 nanometer, they are able to scale the compute units higher than what they put on to Radeon 7. Now, a quick breakdown of Radeon 7. It is the world's first 7 nanometer gaming GPU. Now, we know AMD came out with, what was that, the M150 professional?
M160?
M150, M160, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact part number. It's been a long week. But that was a 7 nanometer Vega-based GPU, or Navi-based GPU, that had the same 60 compute units, had the same 16 gigabytes of HBM2, and was designed for professional workstation use. This one is what they're calling Vega 2. It's 7 nanometer, 3840 stream processors on 60 compute units, 16 gigabytes of HBM2, giving it 1 terabyte of effective memory bandwidth. Obviously supports AMD FreeSync 2, HDR, etc., etc. And what they're saying right now is this will compete directly with the RTX 2080. Whether or not it will compete with ray tracing, which Lisa was kind of cagey in whether or not it would be able to run ray tracing.
You know, but I think that there is and this is my thought. There's a whole market of people like me who are completely unsold on ray tracing and are not willing to adopt it.
You're waiting for another beer.
Yeah, whatever. Well, don't rush. Hey, I'm not here to rush anybody. I don't think it's appropriate for me to start in a different beer without you. What was that?
Okay.
So here, now we're drinking Voodoo Ranger IPA from New Belgium. New Belgium, of course, is the company behind Fat Tire.
That's right.
Which is one of my favorite beers that's gone big. And Voodoo Ranger had it before, hadn't had the extra dry Sierra Nevada before, but this
That was wonderful.
Yeah, it was really good actually. Especially at first I was kind of unsure about it, but the way that they hop their beers is pretty unique. The Sierra Nevada anyway.
It really is like a dry hopping of the beers. It was a very good beer, maybe a little bit oily.
Right. Well, and that's the thing.
really
The way that they hop their beers, it actually I think it lends itself to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of a byproduct, and it's a byproduct that I don't like. But you get a lot of extra aroma, a lot of extra like floral, just blasting up your sinuses.
No, the opener.
Oh.
I want to open the beer since you opened your beer.
Whatever. But anyway, Voodoo Ranger, cheers. Oh, what do they say on here? Bursting with tropical aromas and juicy fruit flavors.
Tropical aroma. I'm not getting tropical. Hold on. Oh, maybe.
Really?
like
That smells just like Cuba. Just kidding.
Maybe
I don't
like-
know why I said that.
Unfortunately, we're trying to smell out of a bottle. I don't have any glassware.
So, yeah, what's really interesting going from the Sierra Nevada to this, the first thing that I have to say is that Sierra Nevada was bursting with flavor out of every pore. This is flavorful, but it's withheld.
It's much more subdued.
It's conservative.
Yeah.
It's good, though. Less oily.
The fabled bottle opener. Yes, if you didn't catch it at the beginning of the stream, the bottle openers have shipped. They shipped last Thursday. If you haven't received yours today, probably tomorrow.
Expect them soon.
Expect them soon, unless you're overseas. But we did ship them to everyone overseas who I had addresses for.
And if you are overseas, take solace in the fact of knowing that your address baffled an American postman.
Especially you in Latvia. You know who you are.
Yes, especially Latvia.
Well, there was Latvia and there was it Czech Republic?
Czech Republic,
Yeah.
yeah. Czech Republic, apparently, they don't, well, at least in Prague, they don't have like a zip code or a postal code.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how we're supposed to ship there.
You type in Czech Republic and you put a stamp on it and you mail it.
And then Latvia has letters in it. I think a lot of them actually have letters in
Yeah.
it. But Latvia, and he was like, did you say Libya? I was like, what? And he's like, Lithuania? I said Latvia.
Latvia.
You're a postman, for crying out loud. It's an honored position.
Whoa. Bendy. Boy, you've been on this channel a long time. IPAs make me sad. It's a yuppie version of malt liquor to get high alcohol content.
Okay, yeah. Next.
Bendy, I'd hate to ban you. I really would.
Anyway.
Anyway, so Radeon 7, world's first 7 nanometer GPU, being released February 7th, so right around the corner, about a month from now.
I'll be interested to see kind of where this evolves the rest of their product line in the future, because again, the rumor is just wait, and see. So
and with Vega, it didn't sell very well at retail when it was announced, and then when it was available in high enough quantities, the crypto miners bought it out. And Vega never trickled down to lower end GPUs. We never got a mid-tier $200 Vega GPU. So I'm really curious to see what Radeon 7 does long term. If it scales up, which I'm hearing it does scale up, does it scale down? We know Vega scales down because we have the Vega 20 embedded in, what is that, the 8809G?
the 8809G. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly what you were thinking. Exactly. The Intel i7 with Vega 20 on board, the only Vega 20 out in the wild. And then the Vega 11 and Vega 8 are actually very, very power efficient. That's what's driving this laptop here.
Yeah. One thing I'm curious of, and you and I had talked about this before, but I want to have the conversation, I guess, on stream. What does this mean, I guess, for NVIDIA products? I mean, personally to me, again, I see the press conference, I see all this, and a graphics card that competes with the 2080?
Until they beat the Halo product, AMD will still struggle.
And the Halo product is the 2080 Ti.
Is the 2080 Ti. And I say the same thing about competing against Intel. Until they beat the 9900K at their own game, AMD will still struggle. And Halo products sell other products. I mean, you have the Audi R8. There's a reason that TT sells so well. It's because people want a taste of the Audi R8.
You've had a real crush on the term Halo products the last, 3 shows.
I have. I really have. But the current situation...
It's true, though.
You have AMD, which is providing genuine competition from about 80% of the market down. The problem is the top 20% is the part of the market that people lust after.
Right.
And that's also what sells a lot of the lower-end products for both Intel and NVIDIA. Is the GT1030 a good card? I like the GT1030 for an entry-level gaming part. But when you have a 2400G at $170 with Vega 11 graphics on board, or even the 2200G with Vega 8 on board, why would you ever buy a GT1030 when you can get all of that packaged onto one die for way less money?
Yeah.
But the thing is, people go, oh, AMD doesn't make a very good graphics card because they cannot compete with the 2080 Ti. So why would I consider the Vega 8? There is
7.
a line of thinking there.
No,
it was 8.
Yeah.
It was 8.
You're right.
It was 8.
I know. I was looking.
Don't correct me on part numbers.
Yeah, I know. I already tried. Well, you said Vega, and I heard Radeon, and I was like, "That's a 7." Mm-hmm. Sorry, my bad.
Yep.
We're talking about other things.
Yeah, they're new bad boys at 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
But okay, so it supposedly competes with a 2080 Ti, but NVIDIA doesn't have to. They don't have to start looking behind them yet. I mean,
Right.
what? Okay, nice.
It's when Intel or NVIDIA, either one of them, have to look over their shoulder at the top product. And honestly, when Threadripper 2 hits, when true Threadripper 2 with 7 nanometer hits, Intel will have to look over their shoulder at all of their workstation products. They're going to have to do that. And that might be the thing that really starts to turn AMD's favor over. But we know AMD is selling much, much better than it has before, and Ryzen's a big deal. They're starting to win over the mid-tier consumers who want to buy. They want to spend $200 on a CPU. Well, an i5 is still almost $300 versus a 2600. Heck, you can get that for $170 on a good discount. You can get a 2700X for $300.
Yeah.
So AMD is starting to win favors in spite of not beating the 9900K.
Yeah.
But the 9900K is still the go-to for gamers
Still the
because they
king.
go, it's the best gaming CPU.
Yeah. Real quick, Henry W. over here. He says, "This is not live, right?"
This
Bro,
is live.
This is completely live. And if you're just now joining us, I want to cheers to your name, brother.
Cheers, buddy. Now, let's get into AMD 3000 series. Let's get into that. Because there's already some comments flying up here that I saw. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the slide to show you because I don't want to mess with a good thing. We're live. That's all I care
Here,
about.
what you can do, you go to that Google and you type it out.
Yep. AMD Ryzen 3rd Gen or AMD 3000 series or Zen 2.
Matisse?
Matisse?
Is that what they're calling it? Ryzen 3rd Gen or
Yeah.
Matisse?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
I shouldn't have jumped that far ahead.
Whoa.
I said a lot of things in my mind that didn't come out of my mouth.
Yeah, we're still telling them how to Google it. Anyway, I'm looking at the Anantech article because they always do a phenomenal write-up of the details. So AMD Ryzen 3rd Gen 3000 series chips, also known as Zen 2. It's the one thing I don't like about Ryzen is they called Zen Plus 2nd generation, and Zen 2 is 3rd generation. Don't do that. Anyway, 3rd gen coming mid-2019, late quarter 2. Now, what AMD announced is exactly what I said they would announce. Now, I thought they might have a 12-core, and I thought they might have a price at like $450. They say, we're going to offer a 12-core CPU for AM4, and it's going to be $450. What that announcement does is it does not undercut any of their existing products. So their existing products will still sell until the new chips come out. When the new chips come out, they'll replace the old ones. They don't lose a beat.
Pretty clever marketing.
Right. If AMD came out and said, we're releasing an 8-core, 16-thread CPU that overclocks to 5 gigahertz in May, and it's going to be $299, they would not sell another 2700X for 5 months.
Right.
They wouldn't do it. So you cannot make an announcement too early that undercuts your own products. Now, what AMD did here is they showed what the Zen 2 CPU looks like, and it looks strikingly like a Threadripper that's been cut into quarters.
Yeah.
It has the same 14 nanometer I/O die from Global Foundries, and it has the same 7 nanometer chiplet from TSMC. Now, the eagle-eyed among you, I don't know how you could miss it, could notice that there's a little third of the chip that's kind of missing where you could probably stick another chiplet. Now,
It looks that way.
Now, if there's 8 cores on the chiplet that's above it, you can probably add another 8 below. So what I'm predicting is AMD did exactly what they wanted to do, not undercut their own market, not give any pricing. They only gave performance details about what their 8-core is going to do. What they're going to do is between now and release in May, is they're going to decide, do we come out with 8 cores? Because at 8 cores, according to them, at stock speeds, they're matching the 9900K as far as it comes to Cinebench scores, 8-core, 16-thread. Do we go with 12 cores because Intel threw a counterpunch that we weren't expecting 3 months from now? And we go, oh, we're going to match the 9900K as far as performance-wise, but we're going to add 4 more cores to it.
Boom.
Or do we go for the gut punch and go 16-core? Because from the layout that I'm seeing here, totally possible.
It definitely looks that way. And every single thing that you see online, they've got that gap circled in bright red, just like, what does this mean? So yeah. So I've got a question. Maybe this is irrelevant, maybe not. But we're talking about how clever AMD is here, not to undercut their own market. But is that what NVIDIA has been kind of doing? Like, has NVIDIA kind of undercut their own
NVIDIA's
market?
playing with their food.
Okay. Yeah, and that's just...
Yeah. As much as I want to see competition, NVIDIA has stuff in their labs cooking. Now, I think RTX is an effort to flip the market into their favor because they know AMD is going to start to be competitive at some point.
Yeah.
And they're trying to base their entire branding on a technology that AMD is years behind them at, which is Tensor cores and RTX cores. But as far as raw compute performance, AMD actually competes or sometimes wins GPU to GPU.
See, when you frame RTX like that, I'm like, wow, RTX is clever.
Yeah.
I go from hating it to just being like, oh, all right, I get it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
So-
still not going to adopt it.
So honestly, I've never heard anything out of various camps about bad yields at NVIDIA or failure to make certain FinFET sizes or we're stuck at this level and we can't go any further. They have things waiting in the wings that will absolutely decimate if AMD comes out and throws something down.
Yeah.
They threw the Titan V out there just kind of like, it's kind of a gaming card. Go ahead and have fun with the 4,200 flipping CUDA cores it has.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that they're capable of throwing some massive amount of compute at the market if the market demands it.
Right.
Right now, because there's no competition, the market doesn't demand anything more than they're giving them. So that's my opinion there. As far as Intel, no, Intel, I think, I've been very vocal about this. I think Intel is 3 years away from a reboot, from changing their entire philosophy. And we heard rumors, about 3 months ago, that Intel had abandoned 10 nanometer entirely, and they're starting to just go, we're going to skip it, we're going to try to go straight to 7, but it's going to take some transitionary time.
Well, and wasn't it Intel, too, that kind of steered into that modular design that we were talked about a couple weeks ago,
Right.
too?
Which
seemed like maybe they were abandoning.
There's
10
rumors
nanometer.
out there hearing that Intel is going to go with just a bunch of cores that have been glued together.
Yeah.
So
We'll see.
But that's still going to take time to develop. And even with Intel's resources, which admittedly are much, much more than AMD has available to them as far as research and development goes, it still takes 2, 3, 4 years to develop a new CPU architecture. Which is why it's really exciting when you see AMD when they come out, at Computex, and they said, well, we have Ryzen 2 dies in the labs right now. We have the plans for Ryzen 3, we have the plans for Ryzen 4, and we have plans for Ryzen 5. We have this 6 years out with all of our chipsets kind of laid out, how we want them to work, where the die process is going to be at, what the architecture required for that is, what are our steps to get from here to there.
Yep.
That is exciting. Intel, I guess we'll glue 2 more cores into our 8700K, call it a 9900K. We'll strip hyper-threading out of the i7 because we need a number that's bigger than 7 because Ryzen 7 exists and we're Intel and we're better.
Damn, you hate that idea.
Yeah.
When we talked about it, you were just like, meh.
Yeah.
But now it seems like you hate it.
I never liked the idea of
You've
i9.
had time to think about it.
No, I never liked the idea of i9.
Yeah.
You're confusing the market. And I think we'll loop back around to the RTX 2060 confusing the market.
Yeah, I think so.
Not to bounce around. Did you know there are 8 SKUs for the RTX 2060?
Why?
Because there's an RTX 2060 6GB with GDDR6. There's an RTX 2060 3GB with GDDR6. There's an RTX 2060 6GB with GDDR5X. There's an RTX 2060 3GB with GDDR5X. And there's a couple other SKUs that are floating around there too that may or may not develop.
I was going to be really impressed if you named all 8 different products.
I don't have that much room in my brain right now. But you can tell NVIDIA is playing with their food because they're trying to confuse the marketplace even more.
Yeah.
Now, Intel is trying to confuse the marketplace with AMD keeping it simple, but AMD is still making some pretty dramatic blows, especially down low in their product stacks. With NVIDIA, I don't know what NVIDIA's marketing is trying to accomplish at this point. I really don't.
Yeah. Losing business?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. They just need to call Threadripper TR9. Yeah. No, TR11.
TR11.
Crank it up to 11.
There you go.
Yep. But yeah, AMD brought up a fantastic point, and I've made this a couple times as well, that in 2016, the highest end workstation chip that you could buy, regardless of your money, the highest end chip you could buy at the end of, or at the beginning of 2016 was 10 core, and it cost $1,800. And that was from Intel, and it was the 6950X. Today, that same $1,700 gets you 32 core 64 thread with 64 PCIe lanes, because competition is now in the market. And that's what it's going to do top to bottom as soon as AMD, maybe they don't beat Intel at the 9900K, but if that's the only product that Intel has left that doesn't compete directly against AMD, I think AMD still wins. That's the one aspect that I think. Intel can tout IPC all they want, but there are so many other aspects to computing other than IPC.
Yeah.
And there's so many aspects to computing other than gaming. And yes, Intel 9900K is the best gaming CPU you can buy today, bar none. It just is. With Zen 2 knocking on the door, the numbers that I'm seeing is almost equal IPC, and AMD didn't even give any clock speeds for that. It's possible AMD has Zen 2 sitting at 4.4 competing with Intel's 4.7.
Yeah.
It's very, very possible. It's also possible that AMD overclocked the bejesus out of that thing on LN2 and managed to tie the 9900K at stock speeds. That's totally possible as well. Intel at Computex. So it kind of remains to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like everything, wait for independent reviews. Anything else that struck you guys at CES this year? We've been to the convention floor. We've been to quite a few different booths. While you guys are chatting about that, big shout out to iBuyPower again for letting us invade their suite.
Yeah, for real.
Cheers, you guys. We're gonna drink beers with them later.
Yeah.
But no, huge shout out to those guys that they offered up saying, we have 200 megabit upload. And I went, really?
Yeah.
I've got 2.5.
This
so,
this wouldn't have happened from the hotel, or it would have been like a Periscope or like a Facebook live stream from the cell phone, like you know, while doing something. I mean,
it almost was anyway if I couldn't get my capture card working.
Oh yeah. This was it was a whole cluster getting it all set up, but we managed with a lot of help. So thanks again, iBuyPower.
Yep.
And seriously, like if you're looking at this case behind me, keep the.
Let alone the case behind me, the case beside me.
Oh, I know this one's my favorite one.
What was the name of this one again?
Which one? This one?
This one.
Revolt 3?
Yeah.
Revolt 3?
Revolt 3.
The Revolt 3, yeah.
So we have the Revolt 2 down here. You can't see that, but this is pretty much what they're imagining the Revolt 3 to be. It is a mini ITX case that actually supports dual graphics cards up to 4 slots high. Or if you wanted to put in a single graphics card with a couple of 4X cards in there as well, they're using PCI Express bifurcation on a riser board that enables you to put in dual graphics cards at X8. And some of you are going to go, well, if it's not X16, get out. You realize it doesn't saturate the PCIe lanes that it has available, right? You realize X16 is a lie.
And so is your life.
Right. So in this rig, they have dual RTX 2080s running in SLI, as well as a 9900K, as well as a full custom liquid loop with a 200 millimeter radiator on the bottom with a push-pull configuration. They've got a pump. They've got an SFX power supply, 750 watt gold, I believe it was, all in a case that's maybe about an inch wider than a Phanteks Shift X, I would say, the closest thing being to it. And I have one of those cases, and I couldn't fit half the amount of power in there that they managed to crank in here. So this is really cool. I'm sure we will be having a video coming out on it very soon.
The Revolt 3.
But that thing is cool. I cannot wait to see that, a little bit more of that. Or possibly building one.
Also, keep the super comments coming so I can walk out the door with this one. I only need about $10,000 more. It's no big deal. We believe in you guys.
They said he could have it for $9,500.
But it had to be all cash and it had to be tonight.
Alienware's beefy ass laptop. I saw some pictures of it. I didn't see any specific specs on it, and we haven't stopped by Dell
I
yet.
haven't even seen. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't even seen their
We've walked
booth
by
yet.
a couple of times, but there's this real beefy looking dude, and I didn't want to fight him.
Yeah, he's pretty intimidating.
So,
he's got muscles. In his
we
neck.
haven't stopped by Dell yet. I'm gonna try to make it over to them probably sometime tomorrow,
Hey,
if I can.
And I just want to say real quick while I got a moment.
Yeah.
I called Henry W. I called him Henry. His name's actually Harry.
Harry.
And it's his first time here.
Dude, Harry, welcome.
Yeah, awesome, Harry. I'm sorry I said your name wrong. Somebody called me out and they're like, "You suck."
Yeah.
And they're not wrong.
Great. He's never gonna watch again. Thank you, Red.
I haven't seen his comments in a while, but
Yeah.
he's probably just chilling.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, man. We appreciate it. God, what else? Is that it?
Are
Really?
there companies at CES showing off speakers and amplifiers and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
A number of them. I know.
Hair.
Shure was here. Audio Technica was here.
What's the other? Showing. They make those really high-end headphones.
Sennheiser.
Sennheiser. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Sennheiser was here.
Yeah.
We walked by all their booths. I did stop at the Shure booth very briefly, just kind of checked out a couple of the new microphones. You probably won't see any content from me on that because I am far from a microphone expert, and so I don't want to just repeat marketing terms with you. I'd rather give my own spin. And on mics, I can read the specs, but I can't give my own spin. So,
That's what he has me for, to make up opinions about mics.
ITX board with SLI cert. Wow. Yeah.
Not cert,
Oh, not cert, but working.
certified,
But working.
There's ways around.
Okay, there's ways around it, and they said they made it work. So, but yeah, dual 8X, or they're thinking possibly one 8X slot and 4x4. So you could throw in a 16X graphics card and then have a couple of capture cards, which if I build in this is probably what I'm going to do with it.
I want to point out to everybody listening that Jeff had this conversation with iBuyPower like 3 hours ago. And then he did other stuff, and he's drank beers, and he's still got it all locked in his mind.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
What was really funny is watching Rhett try to spit out techno jargon on Monday night. That was hilarious.
The term's jargon.
Jargon. I said jargon, whatever. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
Let's see.
Yeah, it was fun. You all saw the video. Some people said in the comments that it looks like Jeff's holding me hostage.
Rhett looked really uncomfortable. Now that was only the second time Rhett has been on a feature video of mine, and only the first time I've had him talk where he was reading out specs. And so yeah, he was a little uncomfortable. But you don't get better if you don't learn, and that was a learning opportunity.
I think if I had a little bit more time to just commit him to memory. I got a good memory, but
Yeah.
not that fast.
Anyway, someone asked about any enterprise-grade laptops, ThinkPad, Latitude, etc. Lenovo was showing off a really cool one that they're touting as a very, very beefy and durable one. And their demo is they have this random golf ball dropper that has this...
Oh, is that what that was?
That's what that was.
We walked past it and you stopped and looked. I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You kept going.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have a couple of laptops that are sitting under this thing, and it's this completely cyclical system where they're bringing golf balls up to a hopper at the top, and then it's doing this Rube Goldberg thing all the way down, and then it plays a game of Plinko, and then it falls on a random spot on the laptop about 2 feet or so.
Pachinko.
It's Plinko.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I tried to correct you.
I'm more of a fan of Price is Right than.
Oh,
so it's Plinko. So it's Plinko.
okay. Gotcha.
But anyway, so yeah, for the last 3 days they've had that set up with a golf ball dropping on the same laptop, and that same laptop is working.
It's probably just a husk of, yeah, it's probably fake.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's just a shell of it, of whatever the.
Actually, I've always thought Lenovo has made very durable laptops.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I've never really had a problem with their durability.
I'm pretty sure they're like the laptop of choice for the Department of Defense. So there you go.
Yep. Let's see. Sure peaked at SM57 and 58. I wouldn't necessarily agree
What?
with that, but it's hard to beat those.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. It's hard to beat those as far as a value proposition.
Yeah, value, but that's it.
But as far as like that's their top,
It's like
that's
a
not,
50-year-old microphone.
That's not their top. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Should have asked them to use it for the stream. Hey, these are fantastic value for money. And the audio is not the problem. It's the video tonight. Let's see.
They peaked it.
Let's see. What else do you guys?
It's like you've never used a Shure microphone before.
Rhett, you've triggered him now. We're about to.
Okay.
So we have a new display we're actually going to put behind us, and it's the rant counter.
I haven't gone on any rants tonight,
Yeah,
so
so-
and I'm going to avoid the Sure microphone rant because whatever, you're entitled to your opinions.
Actually, on the new little display, there was a score counter that I can enable from my phone. So we could have like I'm
Boing,
red, you're
boing,
blue,
boing, boing, boing.
and
Oh,
whenever
there
we
you
go on a
go.
rant, just the opposite person clicks the counter up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What we got to do is we got to hook it up to the chat and let them control it.
Yeah. That would actually be a pretty good idea.
Right?
And how good the rant is, so they can give it like 5 points or 4
Oh,
points.
yes.
Yeah.
Even better. All right.
Who was best on the show and have
It's
a live
happening.
counter behind us.
It has like an online aspect to it,
It
right?
does,
We could
it
probably
does.
figure that out.
So more info on that.
We'll do some work.
Yeah. Can I see the super chats? They're not showing up. Have you guys been giving super chats? If you have, I am super sorry.
Oh no.
I'm using Restream. They are not.
Are we close to 10,000?
Did we buy Rhett the Spinny-matron behind us?
Yeah, they're not showing up in Restream.
They're not. That is
But
weird.
do they? Or would they only show up on YouTube?
I don't show any super chats in Restream. That is weird. Because
We're so sorry, guys.
Because normally they highlight for me.
Yeah. We're doing it punk rock today, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a.
Oh, he's got it.
Hey, which one's the super chat? Oh, well,
Oh,
Reverend Arrow and Skull. Those guys are our patrons. Actually.
Membership, and those guys are both
Thank
mods
you,
as
though.
well.
Reverend Arrow, Skull.
Hey, there we go.
Way to. Oh,
All of a sudden, like 3 of them show up.
are we close?
Regan Lyle, any cool car tech?
Car tech?
Heavy Pose,
Oh!
$2. Cheers.
We did see some cool car
Cool
tech.
car tech. A lot of self-driving cars.
A lot of self-driving cars. We walked past this one, and it's got this sensor on top, and it's got on a screen mapped out every person within like a certain radius. It was a pretty big radius, even behind solid objects and walls and things like that. I don't know how they got that, but it was really impressive.
Yeah, they were basically using machine learning to map out what is a person, what is an object, and on the screen they had in real time people were highlighted in red, and you could see them walking like an isometric display, top down. You could see them walking across the screen around the car. The car knew where every person was, where every object was, where every camera was set up, if there were any lights sitting.
It was impressive.
It knew what those objects were.
You guys should feel extra safe in these cars, or outside of them, because it
And-
knows where you are.
Right, and the thing is, Las Vegas apparently embedded sensors in all of their light poles. And right now, if you order a lift in Las Vegas, it'll ask you if you want to ride a self-driving car to your destination.
Yeah, we've seen those a bunch actually.
Yep.
Just know that if you're ever run down by a self-driving car, it's only because a computer algorithm has deemed you pretty much worthless.
I wouldn't go that far. But maybe.
Jeff's like, oh my god, we're about to see a dip in viewers.
But maybe.
But maybe. Yeah. I stand by it. It's I'm being hyperbolic here, slightly, maybe like half facetious.
Yep. Hello, Mr. Crafty Beer from Melbourne. Hello.
Ooh.
Mr. Isla Single Malt Whiskey here. Got a Predator X34 with a 1060 Alienware R4. Will get 2080 in the next 2 years. Cool.
Good for you, bro.
Let's see. Difference between G-Sync and FreeSync, please explain. G-Sync is a hardware solution. FreeSync is a software solution. FreeSync is also an open source and industry standard solution, whereas G-Sync is a closed source. NVIDIA owns the technology and patents
Well,
solution.
and wasn't
sells you the hardware to do it solution.
and wasn't NVIDIA moving towards? At least I've only heard this here, but NVIDIA's moving towards forwards with something called async, which is.
No, async is adaptive sync, which is the name for the overall technology.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Got it.
Async includes G-Sync and FreeSync. They're both adaptive sync technologies.
This is why I have you here.
But never in a press conference will NVIDIA ever utter the words FreeSync.
Got it. Okay, so that's why. Okay.
Because AMD calls it FreeSync and they say we're FreeSync compatible.
Okay.
NVIDIA uses async. Anyway.
They're bitter.
So what NVIDIA has claimed they've done is they have tested some of the 600 panels that are G-Sync on, or sorry, 600 FreeSync panels that are on the market today, and they have made sure that they will run flawlessly. And of those 600 panels, 12 of them are async certified, or G-Sync compatible, I believe is the official word. Then there's G-Sync panels, and then there's what was the other one? G-Sync Premium, G-Sync something. It was a higher version of G-Sync
Plus.
Yeah, G-Sync Certified, I believe, might have been.
I could have named it better.
So
They should have
anyway,
called me.
So they're trying to take ownership of the term async to include G-Sync in the technology. What they've said is they will test every FreeSync panel that's on the market, and they will certify some to work, and those will work out of the box. You plug it in, and you're async enabled. They also have their legacy G-Sync, which is all their existing G-Sync panels. Those will work out of the box. You plug it in, they're enabled. There's also G-Sync compatible async displays, which are not G-Sync certified or G-Sync compatible. Those are the ones using FreeSync. They won't plug in and automatically work, but there will be a checkbox inside the NVIDIA control panel to enable async on a capable monitor. Now, NVIDIA is claiming that those monitors will not be certified, and you're going to see frame dropouts and stuttering and all kinds of different things. Who knows? Again, wait for independent reviews. But that's that in a nutshell.
Well,
I think
we're pretty close to.
I think I'm about talked out.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
It's been a long week. We've got a couple of things left to do this evening, including eating dinner. We haven't done that yet.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
A meal we haven't had in Vegas.
Right.
Doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
Doesn't exist. Yeah.
It's just an early breakfast
Yep.
here.
So anyway, very brief episode of Talking Heads, live from the 46th floor of the Palazzo in the iBuyPower suite. Again, thank you so much, iBuyPower, for letting us crash your space and scare off all of your B-roll shooters.
Actually, dude, he was balling back there while
yeah,
we
he
were
was.
rolling. He's just like, fuck him.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But anyway, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for letting us invade your space. More coverage to come from CES 2019. We've got a lot more booth visits to do tomorrow. There will be probably at least 3 more videos that are from Las Vegas here in the next couple of days. So stay tuned to the channel if you are enjoying Craft Computing's content. Again, in the video comments of this video, let me know if there's a CES exhibit or tech or booth that you find interesting that you would like me to check out. I have literally about 6 hours on Friday where that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be we've been and we will continue to be pretty active on Twitter at Craft Computing. Mm-hmm. And if you guys want to see what we're drinking, what we're eating, what we're doing, who we're talking to, where we're talking to them at, $1 a month gets you access to our Discord. And that makes you a Patreon subscriber, a patron, if you will. And the Discord is one of the best parts of Craft Computing. In my opinion, I know I'm a part of it.
No, I'd say objectively that's one of the best parts of the community.
Yeah, objectively. Get over it. It's legit. And we're over there talking
count
about...
at 2.
But yeah, you can literally follow us along the floor, follow us up and down the strip here in Vegas and just see what we're getting into, what we're doing, who we're getting it into with, all that good stuff. That's just $1 a month. And get at us. Let us know. Ask us your questions about things at CES. We'll get back to you. And if you have something you think we need to see, let us know in the comments or on Twitter. Join the Discord.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 64 of Talking Heads, live from iBuyPower in the Palazzo. I'm Jeff.
I'm Rat.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Cheers, guys. And of course, I wasn't on the right screen, so now I've got to open.
Oh, this is really awkward.
Now XSplit is frozen. Okay,
Oh.
hold on.
Oh.
Hold on.
This is embarrassing.
And we're out.
Peace.